Yo, what's good? It's your boy B-Dale. Today I'm going to give a metaphysical and a theological breakdown of the movie Don't Look Up and how synonymous to the signs of the end times, which is eschatology, which is the precursor and the symbology of a new heaven and a new earth, which equates to the prelude of earth operating in the fifth dimensional frequency. And we're also going to be talking about different geographical landmasses that's beyond the ice walls of Antarctica. But in order to understand the reality of this brief synopsis, you have to understand that it's universal, cosmic, and galactic law that they have to put the truth in these movies through signs and symbols, because signs and symbols manipulate the subconscious mind because the perception of art imitates reality, right? So you pretty much already have full disclosure when you're talking about everything in these movies. They gave you the reality of extraterrestrials. They gave you the reality of the Anunnaki. They gave you the reality of desolation and pestilence that's going to be propagated on the planet, because the CIA has an office in Hollywood and Hollywood has an office in the CIA. So everything that you see in these movies is actually real, but a lot of dumbass people, they pass it off as entertainment, because the totalitarian governments, the people who run the system, they have to put the truth in these movies because it's called the law of return. It's a ritual that they do to where they can balance out their karma by trying to deviate from judgment by everything that they cause to the planet. Now, when you're talking about the planet Earth being a hologram, one thing I need you to understand about the movie, there's a comet, that's being projected to the planet, but that comet is basically the personification of the mothership, which is Nibiru, that's being projected to the planet. When you're talking about a new heaven and a new earth, when you're talking about Revelation chapter 21, verse 1, right? So I'm going to go on my screen share here. We're going to go here. So when you're talking about the earth being a hologram, the matrix in itself, this is not the real earth. The real earth is actually the comet, which is Nibiru, that's being projected on the planet in the movie. So the electrical grid nodes is being controlled by 7 energy centers on planet Earth, which is in the geographical location of America. So you got St. Louis, you got Chicago, you got Detroit, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, not Baltimore, but Philly and Boston. And those are the 7 energy centers that's in alignment with the Sirius star system and the Big Dipper star constellation. Because when you break down the etymological roots of the word Big Dipper, in Sanskrit, it means Moina. Moina means more. So when you actually looking at the land of Mu, so those who control, that geographical landmass in those 7 energy centers that controls the electrical grid nodes of the planet, that controls the artificial matrix through the aristocracy that's controlled by the Wall Street conglomerate corporations. This is what controls the whole paradigm of society through the Food and Drug Administration, that propagates these microscopic nanotechnology and these particles and these metals that basically germinate your body, right? To where, you're operating outside of your spiritual capacity because you're being mentally and physically subjugated, right, by these nanotechnologies. Because this is why in those 7 energy centers, they use frequency modification weapons and weather modification tools to control humanity in a holographic system, right? So, like I said, when you're talking about the 19th galaxy, the fifth dimension, which is the personification of a new heaven, that's the real earth that's being projected to the planet. So when you're talking about, this is what it would look like. Let me find it. This is how it would look. This is, so when you're talking about that asteroid, that comet that's being projected to the planet, this is actually what you're looking at. You having holographic Earth merging in with the real Earth. So that's why when everything collided together in the movie, you will see that, it was new intrinsic metals that was germinating the planet. You had new plant life, you had new animals, you had new everything. So that is basically the personification of, a new heaven and a new earth, because the earth that we living in right now is basically the artificial construct of mankind, right? So I'm going to go back to that picture. So there's a book that you got to get, because when I was saying that, those 7 energy centers that control the electrical grid nodes of the planet, is basically in alignment with the Big Dipper star constellation, which means Moena in Sanskrit, which means more, land of Lemuria, the lost continent of Mu. So this is why you got to get this book right here. So this book right here, it says America is the true old world, Mu discovered. So you got the Temple of Shiva, the Temple of Isis, and the Cheops Pyramid. So when you control those 7 energy centers in the geographical landmass of America, you pretty much control the world through the aristocracy system, which is connected to Wall Street, like I said, because Wall Street is what, amplifies the matrix. So please get this book right here. It's a lot of gems in this book. And so also when you're talking about, let's see. Okay. So when you're talking about the beast, the asteroid that's being projected to the planet, right? I need y'all to look at the emulations and the art, the artwork in at the Denver airport. A pale horse is basically the symbology of the fall of the beast, the vitality of the beast, right? So then when you look at the other, artwork inside the Denver airport, it is show you that it's nothing but pestilence, nothing but desolation. So when you see the leopard right here, that is basically the personification of the Canaanites, the cursed seed who is actually the Jebusites, who is the fake Jews. And the fake Jews are the ones who control the world. So this is when you got the beast, because the Canaanites were cursed with leprosy. So that's basically the symbology of it right here. So then you, like I said, then you got the phoenix rising from the ashes from a new heaven and a new earth, right? And then, like I said, then you got the so-called blacks, who are the real Native Americans, the Moors, the Lemurians, in the bottom right here. But I don't want to go too far deep into it because it's gonna deviate from the message of the movie. So reason, they showing these different types of artworks, that's these murals and stuff that's inside the Denver airport, because the Denver airport is basically a bunker. So when you're talking about the elite in the movie, the elite, what they was doing was, like I said, they was trying to escape judgment. So you're going to have some of the elite that run the planet. Some of them going to go in underground bunkers that's inside the Denver airport, or some of them is going to escape to Mars, which is why when you go over here, let me see, you're talking about Elon Musk, right? You got Elon Musk, when he was talking about, he promised to send 1 million people to Mars by 2050. What I'm saying? Like, all this speaks for itself, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, the elite are trying to escape judgment, which is why when you look at the movie, on the poster of the movie, Don't Look Up, it says it's based on real life events. So like I said, it's universal law that they got to tell you the truth in these movies. So snapshot this, screenshot it, whatever, because like I said, it's basically, an emulation of what's going to happen in the future. So now when you go back to the mural inside the Denver airport, and when you're talking about the beast, the curse with leprosy, the Canaanites, who are the Jebusites, who are the fake Jews, the beasts in the Bible, who control the matrix. This is why Dr. York put this, picture up. It's a, it's a 7-headed beast. And like I said, there's the leopard right there, right? Because the beast in its system is being controlled. It controls the matrix through five occultic principles, which is politics, the prison system, psychology, polytheism, and philosophy. And those are the 5 things that control the the paradigm of the matrix, of the holographic world. So the elite, by what they do is through mass deception, like I said, they trying to escape the planet, because of all the desolation and all the, the tyranny that they cause on the planet to humanity. So now we're going to go to a movie clip. I'm gonna show you some of the movie clips. Now you notice that the polar bear was right there. So when you see the ice caps of Antarctica starting to melt, this is where, you know, different, you know, types of land masses that's going to come and merge in back with the United States, or the land of Mu. Like you got Atlantis, and you got, you know, all types of land masses that's beyond the ice walls of Antarctica. You got the land of Thoth, you got the land of Ya, you got all types of different geographical locations that's outside the ice walls. So that's why when you have a new heaven and a new earth, right, that is basically going to be the progenitors of new life, new animals, new everything on the planet. Another thing I like to reiterate, when you're looking at this movie, I'm not saying, you know, it's going to be a direct correspondence to what's going to, you know, what's going to happen in the future. But there, you know, once the mothership enters this solar system in 2022, you know, the electromagnetic frequency of Nibiru is going to raise up the frequency of the planet. So those who are basically living on the shorelines, a lot of that landmass is going to be underwater. So like I said, it's best for you to move inland so you won't be, you know, embark upon all types of, you know, cataclysms that's going to happen on the planet once the mothership Nibiru entered this solar system and, you know, raise planet Earth to a fifth dimensional frequency. So the comet that you actually seen in this movie, that is basically Nibiru, the mothership coming from the 19th galaxy, the fifth dimension. So I need you to understand something. The 19 is very prevalent when you're talking about esoteric, you know, numerology and Vedic numerology and things of that nature, because the 1 represents alpha and the 9 represents omega, because 9 is the highest number in the galaxy, because every other number after 9 is a numerical component. So the same way the earth was created is going to be the same way as it was basically destroyed once it collides in with the new earth. I mean, with the real earth, which is Nibiru. So that is basically the personification and the science behind the number 19. And also, when you're talking about the number 19, what you also got to understand is when you're talking about the Bermuda Triangle, which is basically the landmass where Atlantis was basically at, because Atlantis was connected to the land of Mu, which is America, because, you know, Atlantis, that energy vortex opens up 19 times a year. Again, the number 19, right? Because that energy vortex is being powered by a crystal that's made of volamite that contains orgone energy. So that's why when you break down the etymological roots of the word Atlantis in the cuneiform language, it means black womb, right? The black woman, right? So also, let me go on this side over here. Well, also, one thing you got to understand, I also want to show you the picture of what a mothership is. It has 19 solar panels on them as well. So this is basically a diagram. So this is also, you know, an emulation of, you know, Nibiru being the red sun, which is Shamish. Because like I said, we come from the 19th galaxy, which is the fifth dimension, and you come from a tri-solar system. You got a red sun, a blue sun, and a yellow sun. And Nibiru is actually the red sun that contains extensive, massive solar radiation, right? So now I'm going to show you another movie clip at the end of the movie. Now this is going to be crazy. It shows you right here in the spaceship, once the world was in the form of desolation, all the elite was in the form of cryostasis. They was freezed up until they landed on New Earth. They came back on New Earth, and then the president, the lady right there, she got eaten by a new animal. So like I said, the elite, they've been knowing this reality for a long time. This is part of the plan. But, you know what I'm saying, in 2022, that's going to be the start of the vitality Amun-Ra, the extraction, when you're talking about the rapture in the Bible, right? So this is why Dr. York, he said in his, when you go on Wikipedia, the claim of extraterrestrial origin, he said it's going to be a 40-year process of taking the 144,000 chosen few, talking about the book of Revelations 14:1. You got 12,000 from each tribe of Israel. And then you go into a planet craft, Nibiru, the mothership. And then it says it begins on August 12, 2003, and will end on August 12, 2043. So like I said, so that coincides with the 2030 and the 2040 agenda that's being propagated by our government. So like I said, then these chosen few will be groomed for 1,000 years, because 1,000 years, but what you got to understand is, you know, the sun is going to reverse the polarity of time. So time is not, it's basically an artificial construct that was created by the lunar frequency, right? So when you got at when you come out the, you know, the 24,000 year equinox, time itself is not going to exist. But so therefore, when you go up into these higher realms, 1,000 years is basically one day on planet Earth. So when you come back to New Earth and revitalize and reverberate humanity through edification or whatever, you're only going to be gone for one day, which is 1,000 years in the 19th galaxy. So like I said, then you're going to return to Earth for the final battle with the Luciferians and to redeem man from the 6,000 year rulership of the devil and his seed. What seed is he talking about? He's talking about the seed of the Canaanites, the Jebusites, the Jews, the Luciferians, the Satanists, right? So also this, you know, this is kind of going off the grid a little bit, but I seen this not too long ago. When you're talking about NASA hired a bunch of theologians to study how people will react to discovering aliens. So when you're talking about extraterrestrials and things of that nature, they're basically prepping people up for 2022, because I told you 2022 is basically going to be the year. It's basically the year of the serpent, where the planet, you know, the Kundalini energy of the planet is going to rise up. It's raising up its electromagnetic frequency. So if you're not vibrating with the planet, you're going to be discarded off the planet, because the planet is going through a massive cleanse. So you're supposed to be cleansing yourself as the planet is cleansing itself as well. So when you're talking about, you know, also when you go back to 2008, you had, you know, you had the top theologians. They had a astrobiology course. You had the top theologians and the top astronomers all around the planet, and they was talking about man walking amongst melanated extraterrestrials. So who could they be talking about? They talking about the Anunnaki, right? So like I said, this is a reality. So like, this is why they keep you in a state of, you know, desolation. You know what I'm saying? This is why they take 27 books out the Bible, because the 27 books that's missing out of the Bible is basically in alignment to supreme beings that come from the 19th galaxy, the fifth dimension, the heavens, new heaven, a new earth, Nibiru, when you call the mothership. So you also, where is it at? So when you also talking about different geographical locations that's beyond the ice wall, this is going to also coincide with, you know, man walking amongst extraterrestrials, because once these ice walls break and once they, you know, the tectonic plates start to shift, you know, at a massive scale, these ice walls is going to melt, and these ice walls is going to, you know, raise sea level up, you know, 200,000 feet, to the point where, you know, it's going to start shifting land. And once that land starts to shift, you're going to see the land of Thoth, which is a moving island. So that's right outside where you see right here. This is where we at right here. This is what, you know, the artificial construct of where we living at right here. And then once you go beyond the landmass of that, the ice wall, you got the land of Thoth, you got the land of Libris, you got the land of Yah, dark energy, then you got the land of Yah again, light energy, then you got Patadita, then you got Gemini, and then you got Hypus. You got different types of geographical landmasses. Then you got beyond that landmass, then you got the old moon, then you got the old sun and things of that nature. So I wouldn't say that the earth is flat, but you know what I'm saying, in itself, it's the geographical landmass that we have that we're being presented to. It's a lot more than what they showing us in the history books. So like I said, once these ice walls start to melt, this is where you're going to start to see different types of animals, different types of beings. You're going to see different types of states of evolution that's not being told to us through the history books in the education system, right? So that was my take on the movie. My take on the movie was basically, the comet and the asteroid that's being, personified in the movie is actually a mothership, which is Nibiru, right? So like I said, that's why, the hologram Earth that, that we live in is being controlled by 7 energy centers, the electrical grid nodes in the geographical landmass of America, because it happens in America, because America is the real Holy Land. So I need you to get that book called the America is the True Old World, and get this video out, share this video. Thanks for watching. I'll be dropping, a lot more. So just, hit the like button so you can beat the algorithms and things of that nature. Thanks for watching.